thank you so much for taking time to busy time to be here. Heads up, totally nervous about talking and being videotaped. Okay. So throw that up there. We are excited about what is happening in the preschool division, and my hope is that you will be too and will want to be a part of it. Now, some of you might have heard us talking about Orange, especially back in April when we attended the Orange conference. Now, Orange is actually a strategy. Okay, and before attending the conference, I had no idea what it meant, nor did I understand it fully until going there. So chances are, if I didn't understand it, most of the parents and volunteers don't know either. Okay, orange is the coming together of two colors, red and yellow. Sorry. Actually, it hurt. Oh goodness, red is the love and nurturing of the family, and yellow is the guidance and community of the church. So love and light, red and yellow, family and church is orange. That was not my idea. Orange is when two combined influences come together to make a greater impact on kids. Okay, and nothing is more important than someone's relationship with God. Okay, and no one can impact a child. No one has more potential to influence a child's relationship with God than a parent. And no one has more potential to influence the parents in the church. We as a church only have about 40 hours a year to impact these children's lives, or less. Parents have around 3,000 hours in a year. Okay? And our focus for this year is Deuteronomy 6, verse 7. Impress these commands on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Now, as leaders, you guys are world changers. You guys are helping to develop their early spiritual building blocks to impact these children. And my hope is that, hopefully, you now understand the orange concept and want to be a part of it too, to impact the kids. Let's come down and chat too. Nice, my eye. So here, I'll just put. I don't want to cooperate.
Okay, so Michelle has just shared with you about the orange strategy, and I just want to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about how that strategy translates to the day-to-day, or I guess I should really say like the week-to-week on Sunday mornings. So if it's the light of the church and the guidance of the church and the love of the family coming together to make orange, as Michelle said. And you're here because thankfully you care about these little ones, which is great. And we all know that the preschool years are the years that are full of wonder. And they're full of firsts. First steps, first words, and discovering everything around them. So it's an exciting time. And here at Lakeside Kids, it's our chance to provide kids with their first look of God. And to make this lasting impression of how they view God. And it's exciting that we know that we can partner with these parents and show these little ones who God is. And Michelle was talking about how we have such a short time. So we have a short little time in the preschool years before they're off and running and into school. And then as a church on a Sunday morning, we have an even shorter time. Michelle mentioned 40 hours in a year. And as many of you know, that a lot of Lakeside families that call Lakeside their home and consider themselves regular attenders even come less than that. So they might come once, maybe twice a month. So we have like a very, very short little time with these little ones. So in order to make the greatest impact and to make the most of the time that we have with them, we want to concentrate only on 3 things. And this is what you'll see, that first look curriculum. And Megan, who's here, was the one that brought that in, which is great, yes. And it concentrates on 3 things. God made me, God loves me, and Jesus wants to be my friend forever. So you'll see that like in the posters down the hallway or in the rooms. And if you're already leading an age 2 or 3 classroom, you might have heard those those lines in the lesson. But those are the 3 things that we want them to take away. So when they leave the preschool area, that they know that God made me, God loves me, and Jesus wants to be my friend forever. And so you might be thinking, okay, so how are they learning this? So in the nursery, it's just by you holding them and caring for them, and the saints that you are that stop them, that keep them from crying. And I'm looking at Candy. and then as they move and grow a little bit, are able to understand a little bit more in the age 2 and 3 room with them learning like little stories and the Bible lesson and the crafts and activities. So these truths are taught throughout a theme, as you may have noticed, and there's often the bulletin board that Michelle does in the hall, which is the monthly theme. And Michelle, it is this month, it is God Made Me. So at ours, hope that the kids will really latch on to that theme, remember it, and then it's easy for the parents too to reinforce it at home. So for preschoolers, their world is full of wonder. It's a chance to introduce them to the wonder of God and to give them their first look at God.
Great. So now I'm going to share with you a little bit more. As Michelle and Kim both mentioned, we have limited time with our little ones here at Lakeside Kids. So I'm going to share about how we would like to move to a new scheduling system. And we'd love to move to a system of volunteering month on, month off. And I know you're probably saying, why? Well, there's 4 really important reasons why we want to do this. But first I want to say that in the nursery, we'd like to keep the schedule the same, whereas our leads volunteer once a month, sometimes twice a month. And the reason we want to keep that the same is because a lot of the leads are moms that have young babes, moms that are on maternity, so they're with their children a lot already. And then we have teens that volunteer once a month, and they love to be in the nursery with the little ones. Now, if you're a lead in the nursery and you're like, I'd love to try this month on, month off thing, we're open to that too, so you can talk to us about that later. But we're looking mostly for a month on, month off for our classrooms, the age 2 and the age 3 classrooms. Last year, we did this in the school age division. We moved to a month on, month off. And I have since connected with the classroom leaders because I wanted to see how it worked for them. And I had great feedback. They all loved volunteering in this way. So the first reason we want to move to this new system is the curriculum in the preschool, First Look, is designed to be taught monthly. They have a monthly theme. So teaching 4 Sundays in a row can really reinforce that monthly theme. The same voice saying the bottom line over and over again for that whole month really helps the kids learn and understand that God loves them, God made them, and Jesus wants to be their forever friend. And as Michelle and Kimball said, 40 hours a year is what we get with them, so we have to make the most of it. When you lead 4 Sundays in a row, you can build on each Sunday what the children are learning and just really reinforce that monthly theme. So the second reason we want to move to this is to have consistent classroom leaders in the room. For school age, that was all about building relationships with the kids, and in preschool, the same thing is true. We want to build those relationships. When children see that same friendly face at the door welcoming them, it'll make it that much easier for them to come into the room. In time, there'll probably be less kicking, less screaming, less crying, and you know I'm talking about the parents here. No, just joking aside. That same friendly face at the door is key for young kids. We know that transitioning at this age can be difficult. They're leaving mom and dad sometimes for the first time and they're realizing it. So we want that same person welcoming them at the door on a monthly basis. Reason number 3, the schedule will assist the preschool leads to better communicate with the parents what their children are learning. So every time the parent comes to pick up the kids, you can just say, hey, Bobby learned this morning, Bobby learned that. And so that's one way that we partner with the parents, is letting them know what their kids are learning. And then when they're at home during the week, they can continue mentioning those things to their kids. That's kind of one little piece of the Orange strategy. So the fourth reason we'd like to do month on, month off is it makes it so much easier for you as leads to connect with your fellow classroom leaders when you know you have a Sunday that you can't make it and it's your month to lead. You would have at least three other classroom leaders that you could say, hey, I can't make it this Sunday, could you cover for me? In the past, this is the part that has been frustrating for volunteers, when they can't find someone to cover for them on a Sunday. So month on, month off makes it that much easier. And a perk for month on, month off is you get a longer period off to get into service, to get spiritually fueled up yourself, so that when you're back in the rooms, you have that much more to give to the kids. So our hope is that there would be enough classroom leaders in preschool, in the rooms, that we could probably lead 1 month on and 2 months off. If we get enough people to say, I want to do this, this would be great, we'd still have that same teaching being reinforced every month. We'd have the consistency in the rooms. We'd have the same communication with parents and that same ease in making switches. Actually, it would be even easier. 1 month on, 2 months off. Our goal is month on, month off, but if we had enough, we could do a scheduling like that, which would be really cool for moms who are already busy at home, giving their kids everything they can, and still having time to feel like they're getting fed spiritually as well. So it's all about that 40 hours a year that we get with the kids, probably less, to influence this next generation. And there's a lot at stake. When Kim and Michelle and I went to the Orange Conference back in April, we learned a lot, but there was one statement that really struck me, and I just want to share it with you. 100 years from now, the only thing that matters is our children's relationship with God. If you really think about it, that's what I want, and that's for my kids, is to have that relationship with God. Doesn't matter if they're the best hockey player. Doesn't matter if they're the best public speaker. In my family, they won't be. But I want them to have that relationship with God, and that's most important. And I'm sure you guys want that for your children too. So think about it. Pray about it. We want you to be a part of preschool team and really know that the month on, month off is a great thing to move to. And we have a great focus for this year. We have a great strategy with Orange, and we want you all to be a part of it. So thanks for listening to us.